Hello, friends. We're back again. Welcome to Fightful. It's November 3rd, 2025. I am at Joel Pearl, thejoelpearl.com on Blue Sky. And it's time for your WWE Raw review. No, I'm not Sean Ross Sapp. Sean is off for the evening. We hope he's doing well. We wish him the best. So I am here because I was asked, and I'm here. And this is what I do. This is literally one of the things that I do on this website. So I'm here to talk about Monday Night Raw with you, but I am not alone. I am with my other half, my triumvirate, my number 3, who is a number 2, but really number 1 if you ask Becky Lynch. It is the one and only co-host of In the Weeds on Fightful Overbooked. SP3's here. How you doing, pal?
Because it's not just Joel saying it. It's everybody saying it. You know, Joel saying it, Jeremy saying it, people in the chat are saying it. SP3 is back on the Fightful main channel. It's a beautiful day. Thank you to Sean Ross Sapp, our beautiful overlord of Fightful. We appreciate him letting us fill in for him.
I love someone in the chat saying earlier that Sean's always late, and then saying, "Oh no, it's SP3's fault."
I'll take full blame. You know, it's kind of like a badge of honor. Like I'll take the blame for it. You know, you can always blame. It's fine.
That's what
I'm
we
used
do.
to it. I'm used to it.
As long as you're not late when you do In the Weeds every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all week long over on Fightful Overbooked. That is my one of
you guys actually start later when I'm not on there, which is hilarious to me.
I try for 10:04. We start at 10 a.m. Eastern. I go for 10:04, 10:05.
I told the guy, I was like, guys, you guys just need to adopt the True Hill Heat way. We learned a long time ago. It was like the whole reason WCW used to do 6:05 because it's really tough to start on the dot.
You ever worked in TV? You gotta start on the dot. I used to be a stickler to start the show on time. Now it's just like, nah, it's YouTube. They don't care. As long as you're live and at 45 minutes, you'll probably get your peak viewership if you haven't already. I know how I know how it works. Anyway, y'all know how it works. If you haven't already, leave a thumbs up on the video. If you're watching on any of our millions of channels, we are live streaming everywhere you can think. We are doing it. You can support us by subscribing to FightfulSelect.com. It is our lifeblood. Best $5.99 in the business. Also, dropping news all the time, dropping content all the time. Sean has alluded to a big 2026. I can tell you, I know some of the stuff that they are planning and we are doing, and I think you will really, really like it. So lock in your yearly subscription to Fightful Select because Birdie tells me the prices could be going up again. I know we try to keep it as low as we can. We really do, but we are the news leaders out there. We need to be humble, just like Logan Paul. But regardless, we do our best here. So subscribe to Fightful Select. And, of course, if you want to love us now here, you can donate to Super Chat. And you might get your question or statement read on the air. Or you can head over to humperchats.com. Same thing, because maybe you're not watching us on YouTube. Maybe you're watching us on Facebook, where we're now monetized, where you should absolutely be going and getting the most ridiculous stuff debunked is found over on Fightful, on Facebook, on Meta, whatever you want to call it. We're live on multiple X accounts, Twitter accounts, whatever you want to call that. And of course, we're on twitch.tv/Fightful Gaming. Hey, remember when we used to game on Fightful Gaming? I'm sorry. We got busy with Overbooked, but we're here. SP3, Monday Night Raw was tonight. This was a show. This was a show that existed. And if someone's going to tell us all about the show and it was fine, it's got to be the third man, brother. He can bring himself onto this stuff. Come on, Jeremy Lamberts. It's an In the Weeds evening show.
It's after the weeds.
A night at the weeds.
Yeah, I don't know how that would go. We're kind of lawless on the morning show. We're kind of lawless on the morning show. So imagine us at night with everything. That wouldn't go well, you know. I'm only here because I feel bad for SP3. He's got to review this show with Joel, who's just going to say everything's fine. And then he's got to review the show tomorrow with me, who will not be reviewing the show because the main event ended in a no contest. So I will not be reviewing Raw tomorrow. I will give you facts about the 7-0 Oklahoma City Thunder while SP3 reviews Raw tomorrow.
That's not the worst thing, and I think that would balance things out because obviously tomorrow's show is going to start with a sermon because yeah, Luka Doncic.
Is
Luka,
it? I mean, he's not
Luka
playing
Doncic
tonight.
Luka Doncic got us feeling the spirit. Yo, I don't care about today's game. I don't care.
I
they
know.
always do this to us. They always do this to me, where they always do the back-to-back is a Monday, and then Tuesday I have to talk. I have to talk after a loss, but I don't care about that. I don't care about that. He's not playing tonight. He's still 165 points in his first 4 games. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah,
I got to
he's
do a
playing
ceremony
good.
tomorrow. You already
That's
know,
fair.
but I'll pull back the curtain. I'll let all the viewers know. The reason why I did tonight's show is, one, I love Joel. I don't want to see Joel alone. That's why I did the TNA reviews with him. And 2, it's for selfish reasons because yes, I am an egomaniac. I'm a tourist. That's how it works. I'm trying to check off all the things because I realized the other day I've done every Fightful show on the main channel, except for the ones that Sean does. So if I hit Raw without Sean being here, I'm trying to find out the week that Sean's not going to do the hump, and I'll probably do that too. And then I'll be complete. I'll be done. No, I'll do Beyond the Bell. I'll go to Queens and I'll invade Andrew Zarian's house, and then I will have the Fightful Infinity Gauntlet. So send all your super chats so I can make sure that Sean has a reason I can go back and be like, oh, look at all the people that send super chats. They want me to be on all these shows. So thank you, people.
I mean, Zarian would have to do his show for you to do Zarian's show.
Also
And
true.
He's back. He's doing his show. Come on.
And then we love Andrew Zarian. We love Andrew Zarian. He's got the best eyebrows in the game. But I mean, he does like one show every 2 months, which I respect. By the way, I appreciate his schedule. He's on that Roman Reigns schedule. I got no choice but to respect it as a giant, as a man who acknowledges his tribal chief. I gotta respect it. And I don't know if Sean like does the hump if he's not there, because I don't think Jimmy does a solo show. So I don't know how that works. Maybe SV3 we can talk Sean into, like, if he doesn't want to do the hump, we will do the hump. I'll do In the Weeds with Joel at 10 on Wednesday, and then I'll do the hump with SP3 at 2. I think the show's at 2.
2 o'clock.
Yeah. So maybe we can work something.
We're manifesting
there.
We're manifesting right now.
I'm not staying long because I was like, my In the Weeds guys are here doing this. Like I gotta pop on. I gotta say hi to everybody. I gotta let SP3 know he's reviewing this show twice, with one person who barely reviews the show and one person who is opting out of reviewing the show, which is not my fault. If they would book a finish in the main event, I would have gladly talked about this show tomorrow. But they were like, you know what? We know SP3's doing this show with Joel, and we know Jeremy's rule. Here's what we're going to do in this main event. We're going to make SP3 review this show twice with limited help. So blame Triple H. The land shape has skifted. Skifted?
I love the land shape has skifted.
The land shape has skifted.
I don't know
Go to bed, Jeremy.
I don't know.
It's after 11, Jeremy.
It is. It's 11 o'clock. I didn't like how long this show was tonight. At 10 o'clock, I was like, why is this show is going to go way too long? I don't like this at all. Real quick, is that a Shad shirt, SP3?
Yes, it is.
Oh, nice. I have mine's a little bit lighter gray, but yes, I have a Shad shirt as well. Shout out to RIP to Shad Gaspard. All right, you guys have a good show. Everything was fine to Joel, and then SP3 will repeat. Just SP3, save all your rants for tomorrow. Don't give it away here today. Start the compliment some things, talk about some things, and then say, if you want my real thoughts, if you want my real rants, tune into In the Weeds tomorrow.
I have to review this show 3 times, Jeremy. 3 times.
Oh yeah, Romeo. Romeo will like it though. Well, Romeo doesn't show up to work either. Romeo runs from the grind. Yeah. But he'll like it if he shows on. He loves WWE. WWE bootlicker Romeo.
Isn't New York City closing tomorrow anyway? What does it matter?
Oh yeah, we're closing some stuff because it's like election day. Yeah,
it's election day. Luckily, my place to vote is right downstairs, so I'm fine.
Oh, you'll be fine. See, just the show. It was fine.
Everyone
No.
sent in your super chats. Support my pals Joel and SP3. One of them I deeply love, and the other one is Joel Pearl. I will talk to everybody tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, in the weeds. Myself and SP3. Bye, everyone.
So
I
on,
do.
Jeremy.
I'm not popping on here again. I did not put myself on here. You did that.
No, I just changed back to the Raw thing, and I guess that popped you on.
Oh,
That's
and
a
it just
weird
popped
switch.
me on off of that?
That's an
Hold on.
amazing switch.
Okay, hold on. Try to change. I'll pop off again and try to change the background again and see if
Let's
like
see.
it pops me on.
I didn't do it that time. That was very weird. Oh, we're back to okay. That was strange. You got to run it back.
Okay, I popped myself on. Yeah, I was trying to say run it back and see if it pops on. Oh, I don't know what happened there. I did not pop myself back on. I'm trying to leave. I'm trying to get out of here.
Get
Bye,
out of
everybody.
here. Oh my gosh. All right. That's what we do. That's in the weeds, 10 a.m. Eastern, every single day on Fightful Overbooked. This nonsense continues, but we have an actual show to cover. We have an actual show to talk about. We mentioned the plugs earlier. We'll get to more in a little bit. The show sponsored by NordVPN and my bookie. More on that later. Okay. Let's talk about the show. CM Punk comes out, opens it up, talks about how great is it to be a champ in the great hockeyless state of New Mexico. I'm paraphrasing. He goes on. He thanks AJ Lee, he thanks the fans, he thanks Jey Uso, and the crowd like kind of boos, but then it sounds like maybe they're doing a yeet too. And we'll get into the Jey Uso fan reaction a little bit later. And then he says, there's no Seth Rollins here to cash in on me. And then he does the whirly bird, the Seth Rollins belt celebration, which I thought was really funny. And he says, you come back for my belt and I'll put you down on the couch again. And then he starts naming people he wants to face for this title because he's going to be a fighting champion as CM Punk. He says AJ Styles, Dominic Mysterio, JD McBighead, Finn Balor, Sheamus, John Cena, which at that point, it's like, how many dates he has left, right? Punk, like, Cena's almost, he's done.
Hey,
He's almost
Survivor
done.
Series, man.
I mean, listen, they gave you a little bit of hope if you really want to get into it. We'll talk about that in a bit. Basically runs down the whole like mid card of the Raw roster, and then as he goes to celebrate, the title belt got wrapped around his leg, so he couldn't get it above his head for a minute. And then out comes Logan Paul. He's back. Logan Paul hasn't been seen since I believe Australia. Was it Clash? No, not Clash.
No, Clash in Paris.
Oh, so Clash in
No,
Paris. So it's been a while.
Yeah, it's August, end of August.
Well, he's back, and Logan Paul, is much to the chagrin of CM Punk, comes out, and Punk's like, I hate this. Go to SmackDown, face Ilya Dragunov for his title, which I thought was cute. And he says he hates it when Logan gets a mic, and, he does. Logan's like, I deserve a title shot. But then out comes Paul Heyman, and he brings out Braun and Bronson, and, he's like, the front of the line is with Bronson Reed because he pinned Roman Reigns. It belongs to Braun Breaker because he's the future of WrestleMania. And Logan Paul is like, I was here first. I'm like, that's a pretty weak answer, but all right. that's fine. And then Braun takes the mic and he's like, hey, listen, Paul gave everyone 2 weeks to live because he told us to be patient. Well, we're not patient anymore, and we're gonna whip you like dogs, even though he's a dog too, apparently. And then Punk is like, listen, you can either fight with me or you can get out of the ring to Logan Paul. Logan Paul leaves the ring, gets pushed to the ring apron by Braun and Bronson. They double team Punk. Logan makes the save, but then he gets beat up by Bronson Reed, gets a tsunami on him. Punk comes in, clears the ring, and he takes off his Punk sweater to reveal a Punk shirt, which to me is high comedy.
It was hilarious. It was hilarious. I was like, that is funny.
So Logan Paul's back, and later on in the night, we'll discover just where his allegiances lie. It was a very weird tease of a babyface turn for Logan Paul that definitely left fans feeling a little confused. But the first thing I said was, is Logan joining War Games? And it looks like that may be where we go as we get deeper into this show. But what do you think of the opening stuff with setting up the main event and also getting Logan Paul and CM Punk and the Vision on screen?
I thought it was good use of these guys. I don't think it needed to be that long. This is a near 30-minute segment. I don't think it needed to be that long. I think you can accomplish the same thing in nearly half the time, but at least 20 minutes. I'll give you 20 minutes to get all of this done. I think they could have got this done a little bit tighter. But I thought Punk's promo, he hit a lot of good notes. I like all the people that he mentioned, but teasing those and not giving us any of them. I hope WWE doesn't go in that direction. Like, I know you can't give us Punk and Cena again, but Punk and AJ Styles, I feel like is a big matchup that I would love to see during this world title run. Punk and Finn Balor, when he mentioned him, I was like, oh yeah, he's never faced Finn Balor before. That would be a great matchup. Him and Sheamus, they faced before, but it's been very rare, and they never had a big time title match like that. So he has a whole bunch of people on this roster. Like, him mentioning all these people made me be like, oh wow, yeah, Punk hasn't wrestled a lot of people on this roster. Even him and Dominic Mysterio, that was the most notable of the people that he mentioned, because he got a bigger reaction than Punk. He is over, and Punk tried his best to kind of present that he still views Dom as the heel, and later he would get heel reaction, because we found out that the key to always getting a heel reaction for Dom is his father. But this was a great reaction for him. I thought he was like the most notable of the names. Then Logan Paul coming out. Honestly, the one question I had, I was like, where the hell is the Vision? Y'all were waiting for a new champion to get crowned. Why y'all not the first people out here? So you said it was weak that Logan Paul said, you snooze, you lose. I know you guys are big guys. You couldn't make it down here as fast as me. I honestly, I was like, sounds logical to me. I was like, you should have been down. You should have been in gorilla position before CM Punk. While CM Punk was walking backstage, the Vision should have been in gorilla, where to come out and call him out if he wasn't going to start the show. So yeah, Logan Paul came out first. He got the shot. CM Punk said he'll face anybody. I don't care if CM Punk don't like Logan Paul. Logan Paul was the first one out here, the one brave enough to come out here before the Vision. I was like, man, they just keep fumbling this Vision ball. But I thought their response was good here, and I thought they presented Braun Breaker very well on the mic. So all in all, this was fine.
There's a thought that kind of crossed my mind, and that is they will almost certainly do Punk versus Logan at Saturday night's main event for Cena's last match.
I could see that. Yeah.
That's that's more likely where I would see it happening, because there's nowhere else you can do it. If both men are going to be part of War Games, then that takes out Survivor Series. After that, you've got just that Saturday night's main event. That's the last show of the year, unless you want to stretch this into Royal Rumble, do it in Saudi.
But my question to you is, why didn't Punk mention that Logan Paul already got a title shot? He literally got a title shot at Saturday night's main event earlier this year, and he literally has not won a singles match since then.
Because it wasn't against CM Punk.
I just wish that people would bring this stuff up, because I would love to hear Logan Paul's response, because he probably has a good response to that. Like, oh, that doesn't matter. You didn't mention you have to have a good win-loss record before coming out here. I think that would be logical if Punk mentioned, you got a title shot already. You should go to the back of the line. You don't get another title shot because I'm a new champion.
You see, that's the thing, and that's where I agree with you. I was kind of being facetious. There is no reason for Punk not to say, you tried, you failed, back of the line, because you haven't been seen in months. You have been nowhere. So just because you canceled your boxing match doesn't mean you get to come right in and step in front of the line. There should be some way to get him there. But again, I'm going to give it a little bit of time for Punk to say that, because this is the week one, the reintroduction. He didn't say, I'm giving you the title shot. No one was given anything. And it looks like we are going to have to get to a title shot down the line and not at War Games. So again, I'll give it time. I would like to see it built in the way that you're talking about, where Punk says, you don't deserve nothing because you've been losing. So instead, Logan Paul has to go and get into the winner's circle.
Hopefully we could see Logan Paul get some wins if he is going to get a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. But like you said, to set up the main event of the night, I thought it was a weird choice of having Logan Paul make the save, or I would have just liked the Vision to do more than just push him down, because that did seem like something that he would just walk away from, but then he just chose to make the save. It was a weird decision for him to do that, and then to turn around and what we got at the end of the night, everything just felt weird. It was very weirdly placed on this show, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit. So let's move on. It was tag team night on Monday Night Raw. We opened up with Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez defeating Stephanie Vaquer and Nikki Bella. This match, it does progress a story, but it was a little clunky when we got there. But the match itself was pretty solid. I think, again, Raquel Rodriguez has been proving herself more and more as she works in the tag division, and she works with Roxanne, who is a talent of her own. And then you've got Stephanie Vaquer, Nikki Bella. Nikki, I think, is a much better tag team wrestler right now compared to when you're doing a one-on-one match with her. She looked much better in this match. She was the one who ate the pin again to Roxanne Perez, which, again, I like that Nikki is here to be unselfish for this part of her character. Vaquer getting the hot tag really works for everyone and really gets the crowd behind her. And it builds Stephanie Vaquer as not only a fighting champion, but also just as a way over babyface. And then I love the commentators who can't figure out if it's SVB or SVP as the name of their move. It's SVB, by the way. It's the Stephanie Vaquer bomb or Stephanie Vaquer backbreaker, whichever one you want to call it. Regardless, they did a really good amount of floor bumping to get to the finish where Rodriguez and Vaquer are fighting on the floor. Nikki gets hit by Rodriguez, who's on the floor, allowing Roxanne to hit pop rocks, pinning Nikki. There's a bunch of really good stuff in this match. And later on, we discover that it's Raquel Rodriguez taking on Stephanie Vaquer next week. Don't know why, because neither woman was involved in the finish. Raquel certainly wasn't the one getting the pin, so I don't know why Raquel Rodriguez gets a women's title match out of this, but I guess her team won. Good enough. And then later that night, even later than that, as Stephanie's leaving, Nikki kind of does, I don't know if this was poor acting or if this was her doing this half-assly. She's apologizing for not being able to keep up with the division. I'm hoping that this is her teasing some sort of dissension, some sort of heel turn, because she says, I'm in this division with all this amazing talent, and she's having like this crisis of conscience. Then Stephanie props her up and says, you paved the way for the division. And then Nikki says, I'll be there next week to cheer you on. That was the moment to me that indicated, okay, maybe Nikki was actually just acting, like she was sad just to get Stephanie to take her under her wing and make her feel better and big her up so that Nikki can beat the crap out of Stephanie next week after she beats Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah, it felt like she was kind of fishing for a compliment or fishing some type of words of encouragement. So I can see where you're coming from there. It just, all the backstage segments between Nikki Bella and Stephanie Vaquer, it just reads, maybe because I'm kind of like I don't know how to, a jaded wrestling fan, where it just screams, it's like a big alert, like, this person's gonna turn heel. This person's gonna turn heel. It's like it just goes off on the screen as the whole segment is going. So as far as like her delivery and stuff, it did feel kind of stilted. Nikki's never been the best actress, but I thought it came across like she was kind of like gaslighting a little bit with Vaquer and kind of feigning everything that she was saying to kind of get the words and bring Stephanie even closer to her. So we'll see how that story progresses. As far as the matchup, I thought it was a solid match. I thought everybody involved worked hard. I thought that Roxanne Perez was the best in this matchup. Her and Stephanie Vaquer, I think, were the best two in this matchup. They worked really well. Raquel did her thing in this matchup, but like I said, I thought the best exchanges were between Vaquer and Roxanne. And I agree with you. I thought that was one of the things that I noted. I have my notes here that Nikki Bella is much better as the babyface in peril during a tag team matchup. And now that they seem to be more focused on the women's tag team division, why not put her in a tag team? And not necessarily you can't have, maybe you don't want to have Brie Bella come back, but put her in a tag team with someone like a Stephanie Vaquer or someone from NXT like a Lola Vice. And I think that would be good use of Nikki Bella, use her star power in the tag team division, something that she didn't have during her time in the company. And as far as the booking here, yeah, it's just weird. Because I was like, I remember this whole thing has been like 4 weeks. It's a 4-week story of Roxanne and Raquel confront Stephanie after she won the Crown Jewel Championship matchup. Then they did Stephanie and Roxanne with Stephanie winning. And then the post-match with Judgment Day jumping her and Nikki Bella making the save. Then Roxanne beat Nikki Bella and Stephanie made the save. And then this tag team matchup with Judgment Day winning with Roxanne pinning her. If I'm doing it over, you have that Stephanie and Vaquer matchup go to a DQ. and then you just do everything you did the last 2 weeks, and you do Stephanie and Roxanne next week, and then you save the Raquel matchup for after Survivor Series. Because it kind of feels like all of these women are going to be involved in something coming up at Survivor Series.
Can I interest you in a multi-tag women's tag team championship match?
No, it's probably be War Games.
It's probably going to be
probably just throw them in War Games.
Amazing. The John Cena Last Time Is Now tournament Tumblr. I really highly recommend you check out In the Weeds from this morning on Fightful on the main channel, because we do main channel Monday at the top of every month. Myself and Jeremy were talking about the announcement of the Last Time Is Now tournament. Jeremy had some very choice words. He called it lazy. I think he's absolutely correct. You have John Cena, and you just didn't have him long enough to do a proper build to a last match, and instead you're hoping that a bunch of really good matches on paper is going to be enough to make a John Cena match special against whoever wins a tournament. Regardless, the Tumblr is back, baby, and they announced the first 2 matches. The first one, for the first time ever, it's Rusev taking on Damian Priest. That's next week. And Rusev did have a break promo with Byron Saxton, where he mentioned he wanted to get his win back. He said it was one of the worst of his career when he lost to John Cena at WrestleMania, the tank. Well, you don't have sex in the tank the night before, but that's a whole other ad read. Regardless, Rusev wants to avenge his loss to John Cena, which I think is a good story to tell if you're going to put this man in the tournament. And Damian Priest will probably have his moment, and I'm sure Aleister Black will get involved. Regardless, that's one side of the matches. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sheamus is another one. I do like that they're taking matches that are not repeat matches. We've done this match one other time on television, and that was Raw shortly after WrestleMania last year, so 2024. That's the only other televised Nakamura and Sheamus match. So I'm looking forward to those 2. Nick Aldis will add 2 matches on SmackDown. And you know what? Maybe you're wondering who else can be a part of this. John Cena, of course, alluded to people from outside of WWE maybe coming. Well, maybe you want to bet on wrestling, and maybe you have some wagers to make. How about you do it with MyBookie?
Hey guys, Sean Ross Sapp here to tell you about MyBookie.ag. Yes, you can bet on professional wrestling. I know a lot of people watching this know that they have some insight. They've got a little bit of a heads up. And if you think that you know more than the odds makers, head over to mybookie.ag. Use that code FIGHTFUL. Get a $50 bonus with a $100 deposit, or a $100 bonus with a $200 deposit. They have lines on upcoming shows for WWE, AEW, as well as all other sports. But leave it a little bit of extra if you feel very confident in the direction of some of the booking, the direction of some of the storylines. You can bet on anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Use that code FIGHTFUL. Please only bet what you can, and please bet responsibly. MyBookie.ag, bringing you the best experience from the best. MyBookie.ag and the code FIGHTFUL.
Friends, go check out our friends at MyBookie.ag. SP3, who else do you think will be in this tournament? And what did you think of the first announced matches for the Last Time Is Now tournament?
Well, first of all, if you're going to use a Tumblr, I want to see you use the Tumblr. I mean, that means pick the name out of the thing and let me see you read it, because I don't believe them. I don't believe them. They just made up some matches. That's not the names that were in the Tumblr. That's what I believe, because these two matches, I was just like, oh, okay, I'll watch. Not exciting. They didn't those two. I'm sorry. I like Damian Priest. I like Sheamus. I like Shinsuke Nakamura. Rusev is in the company. So I like a lot of these people, but I'm just saying these matches ain't like Nakamura. I like Nakamura, but he's also a surfer. He's more of a surfer than a wrestler. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. As far as the tournament, I do kind of agree with you and Jeremy. It is kind of lazy, and I like I just did with the whole Roxanne and Stephanie Vaquer booking. There's an easy way to solve this, but you had to do it at the beginning of the year, so you're screwed now. But at the beginning of the year, After he like failed, he should have like failed against Cody at WrestleMania if he wanted to do this. The rest of the year should have just been John Cena doing the open challenge. Every match should have been an open challenge. So then at the end of the year, he's undefeated in the open challenge, and then there's a tournament to beat him. There's a tournament to beat him. Like if he goes on this run and then he's something to actually beat before he retires, who's going to be the last person to beat John Cena after he's beaten all these people in these open challenges? Then that person actually receives something and it's a tournament because of that. That makes sense. It does not make sense to have a tournament for a guy that 2 months ago got squashed by Brock Lesnar. Nah, that's just dumb. That's pretty dumb. I'm sorry. That is pretty. This is not the streak. They once did a tournament to get, or they did like matches to get.
It was a one-night four-way to see who would face the Undertaker. Yeah. And do you remember one?
It was CM Punk.
It was the world heavyweight champion. That's right.
That's how they determined. That was how they determined it was CM Punk versus the Undertaker at WrestleMania 29, the first WrestleMania I was live for. So, yeah, John Cena, the tournament, it could have been more. You could have created a story. There's a whole bunch of stories you could have told with John Cena retiring. One of the greatest of all time. This retirement tour has been an utter failure. And if you think differently, congratulations. You have accepted that WWE is giving you mediocre content, and you're accepting of it. And you're like, this is good. That's pretty sad, but I'm not going to do that. I apologize if that hurts your feelings.
Who are the names you would put into this from outside WWE?
Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry's been talking about this for years. Like, at least let him be in the tournament. This is like the thing that he's wanted the most. So let him get a shot. Matt Cardona is one that just makes sense. He's over with the crowd. Have him come out. He'll get a big pop, and he has a story within himself as well. Who else?
I'll give you one more.
I think that's kind of. I'm not interested. I'm good. I'll be. I'm sorry. I apologize, but no, I'm not interested. I'm not. I'd rather Mike Santana. I'll be honest. I'd rather Mike Santana. I'd rather Frankie Kazarian. They know each other some way back. They were in UPW together, so I'd rather
stories,
him.
You'll get nostalgia stories, and you will like it. Anyway, we'll see who gets added. Those are my three. It's Hendry, Cardona, and Nick Nemeth is my like far out. Jeremy had mentioned giving Baron Corbin one last shot because the end of days and everything, and I said I don't think MLW Tag Team Champion Bishop Dyer is going to be getting a spot in this tournament, but I could be eating my words. I could. Maybe something weird's going to happen, and suddenly it's like, hey, can we do a one-off? So we'll leave it at that. To set up the main event, CM Punk runs into Jey Uso backstage and says,
I do have a question.
Before you go ahead.
Why do people think people signed to All Elite Wrestling are the people that they're referring to when WWE has not made that indication at all? Like, this is why I had the whole question on True Hill Heat this week. Has it really been that WWE has lost the plot, or has their fan base lost the plot? Or is it a little bit of both? I'm on the bandwagon of it's a little bit of both.
It is both. Because let's not forget, like, do we expect AEW and WWE to do business with each other? No. However, this is also a company that lent out Shinsuke Nakamura to work Great Muda's last match. So it's not, and granted, they do have a partnership with Noah. So, and there were, again, Fightful Select reported there was conversations bandied about a pipe dream, if you will, about Nakamura potentially being Hiroshi Tanahashi's last match. So, like, it's not completely impossible in the minds of some people that a talent who is signed to WWE could go to another promotion and work a big match that has some sort of feeling or money behind it. However, you probably aren't going to see an AEW talent who was signed for multiple years going back to WWE as long as he was there. And we're talking about Adam Copeland. We're talking about the former Edge. You're not going to see someone talking about that who knows what the situation is, which is AEW talent are not crossing over to WWE and vice versa. You are more likely to see TNA talent, AAA talent. You're more likely to see everyone except an AEW or even an MLW talent to a lesser degree crossing over to work in a WWE ring. And some people are dunking on Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez having the conversation. Their point was that there are people online who are leading to the tease that because wrestling minds run wild. Again, go back to the shoes last week. What are the mystery shoes? And it turns out it was a WrestleMania promo, but people were turning it into Chris Jericho's coming back, Andrade's coming back. It's Santos Escobar having his big re-debut, which we still haven't seen since he's been re-signed. There's so many things that wrestling fans will do to get excited for something. And as a result, the idea of an Adam Copeland coming back because of his experience with John Cena being one of his most prolific partners in matches, I'm talking about opponents, I get it where fans are going. But I think fans also need to understand that it's contractually impossible unless suddenly Triple H and Nick Khan and Tony Khan are best friends, and they ain't.
Nope. And nothing that they've done in the year 2025 would indicate that this is even a remote possibility that we should use our brain powers even slightly in.
Yeah. And again, like, I have no problem with fans letting their minds run wild as long as they don't get completely and utterly defensive and screamy about it. I think the idea of having Adam Copeland Edge facing John Cena in John Cena's last calendar years as a wrestler, I think it's great. I think there's a lot of opportunity to do that. Can they do it? No, that's the reality of it. But the idea, the fantasy booking behind it, yeah, that's cool. I'm all for it. But it ain't gonna happen. Reality just cites otherwise.
Yeah, I'm all for fantasy booking. I just like a tinge of reality to it, but
can't do that.
Yeah, let's talk about the rest of the show.
CM Punk runs into Jey Uso that's setting up the main event. Punk's not sure he can trust Jey. He says, I don't know if I'm talking to Jey or Lil Roman. And of course, Jey Uso's like, no, it's just me, Uso. And they'll team tonight. So that's the main event tag team. They're going to take on the Bronze. Penta defeats El Grande Americano because Penta needs more pyro in his entrance. They did. It's SP3. They brought it back, baby. The mask tie-up spot where you get your mask tied to the ropes. They brought it back. And it immediately fails. He didn't tie him up properly. El Grande Americano tries to get Penta tied up in the ropes with his mask. Unfortunately, he just came right loose. The discus slap from Americano was great. It was a good lucha-style match from these guys. Penta had a great dive out to the outside. Rayo and Bravo get involved. They give Americano the medal for his mask, and then they get ejected. But a top rope Mexican destroyer gets the win for Penta. And then he evades both Rayo and Bravo at the end of the match. It happened. Was fine. No, it was very good, I thought.
Yeah, it was a good match. Good match with these guys. They've developed good chemistry. People tend to forget these guys had like a series of matches early on in the year when it was Penta versus Ludwig Kaiser. That's how Penta got ready for the Intercontinental Championship scene that he hasn't escaped from for the past like 7 months. But here it was a good matchup, kind of continuing their rivalry from earlier in the year and for them getting involved with the Penta versus Rusev match last week. I thought this was kind of like they had some fast-paced action, and I like the finish with Penta kind of overcoming all the interference from the other Americanos to hit the Mexican destroyer for the win. It made him look like a smart babyface, and it's something that they haven't done a lot for Penta as of late. I feel like they were very heavy-handed on commentary about how great Penta is because his booking has been a little bit lapsed as of late. But can we talk about Joe Testator and how pissed he was at Michael Cole and Wade Barrett? Yo, he went in. Yo, even Wade had to be like, Fouls protest too much. Like, yo, he was tight. He was like, how dare you and Cole talk crap about me, saying I do Penta's dance in my hotel room naked. You guys go over here acting like marks every time Jey Uso comes. I was like, go ahead, Tess. I was like, yeah, go ahead, Tess. Stand up for you. Stand up.
He's going to fight Wade Barrett next week. They're going to do WrestleMania 47 is going to be Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett. You're gonna have the Tess mine. It'll be the Tessa mole. The Barrett barrage is back, baby.
Oh, that's perfect. Oh man, this fed my soul. Tess was the star of this whole segment. He got tight. I was like, let's go, Tess.
I'm here in my Tesseract, and I'm gonna beat the shit out of Big Barrett.
My Tesseract, let's go.
That's what you're gonna get out of this, folks. Get in your super chats, get in your Humber chats, and check out In the Weeds every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern on Fightful Overbooked. Dominic Mysterio cuts a promo. He comes out and after his big win at Saturday night's main event, he says, "Nobody can stop me." Well, except for his daddy. Out comes Rey Mysterio. He's back, and he says, You're not the king of the luchadors." Talks about El Santo and Blue Demon and Eddie Guerrero. And then you get the best line from the night is Dominic Mysterio saying, "You keep my father's name out of your mouth." And the crowd
Best big pop.
The crowd absolutely ate it up. And I thought it was great. I thought it was well timed. It's so funny watching Dominic Mysterio get cheered when his father, who is the perennial babyface luchador of WWE, is out there trying to be that babyface. Dominic says he's better than all of them, including Eddie Guerrero. And then he says he's better than Rey Mysterio, at which point Rey says, I'll let you talk shit about me, but I won't let you talk shit about Lucha Libre. Like, oh, all right. I guess that makes him a good dad. Anyway, Dom berates him, tells him to get out of his ring. And Rey says as long as he's around, Dominic will never be king of the luchadors. The ring will never be his, and he will never be the greatest Mysterio. Dom tries to sucker punch Rey, counters and hits Dom with a 619, and then Dom escapes. Buddy, you're going to San Diego. You're going to Survivor Series. You are going to be in a large baseball stadium, and you can do father versus son one last time. I've been saying it. I know people were talking about the idea of doing John Cena and Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. I would do this at the park in San Diego. This is the match. It's a big father-son match. You could do mask versus title. You can make it whatever you want. This is what I do. You can do hair versus mask. Dominic could be a chicken shit and be like, I'm not putting my title up, but I'll put my hair up. Try it. I loved the promo. I thought it was a lot of fun. Listen, their father and son, they definitely know how to talk to each other. And I thought it translated well. And I think you should do something at Survivor Series between these two. John Cena can do something else. Literally anything else.
This was the second best promo on the show. Probably the second best moment of the night for me. Because Dom, man, he's just so good right now. Like, it's been so great to kind of eat crow. Because I was down on Dom when he was with Rey, when they were in a tag team before this heel turn. But the heel turn and the maturation that we've seen over the last 3 years, and now he's just got that swagger. He's got that confidence behind him. He speaks with so much presence, so much cockiness about him, braggadocious, calling himself the greatest Intercontinental Champion, the greatest AAA Mega Campeon, and the greatest luchador of all time. And that brings out Rey. And you mentioned he did get a big pop on the line about Eddie Guerrero, keep my dad's name out of your mouth. But this was the first time in months Dom got heat. Dom got heat going against his dad because Rey Mysterio is in the Mount Rushmore. You want to know the Mount Rushmore of the purest baby faces of all time? To me, it is Rey Mysterio, it's Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, it's Dusty Rhodes, and we'll put Sting. Sting is in there. Yes, Sting. Those are the four purest baby faces of my generation, and Rey Mysterio is in that conversation. And there's just nothing he does wrong, and he's gotten so good on the mic over the last like 6-7 years, where he's kind of had this voice of kind of this veteran, this legendary presence in WWE, and he's able to interact with anybody very well. But there's the dynamic of the cocky son who has just been disrespectful of his lineage and the legacy of his father, going up against the noble father who's making his return back to the company. That's just a dynamic that works. That's a story that works on so many levels, whether it's in wrestling or not. So that's why I think it just works instantly. And you're absolutely right. If you're not going to do John Cena for Dom, the next biggest matchup he could possibly do is him and his father. But honestly, the last lines from Ray lean towards Ray is actually thinking about retirement to me. Because him very much emphasizing, as long as I'm here, you're not this. As long as I'm here. Like, he repeated that. He wanted that to be etched in your head, where it made me feel like we probably only got a year. Honestly, I heard this promo. I was like, we might just have a year, and we might be leaning towards Dom being the one who retires his dad in the next year.
I really would not be surprised if they did the match, maybe did the retirement match for Ray, and then the next month they make Rey Mysterio the on-air general manager of AAA.
I can see that.
That they are very much WWE-ifying that brand and that company, and that is something that they would absolutely do, is make him the figurehead. They've got Undertaker backstage teaching them how to do rope walks, so why not add Rey Mysterio to do anything on camera? Which, you know what, I think a lot of luchadors would be really happy to work with Ray, and I'm sure he's a very welcome backstage presence. He's a legend, especially in that world. So I could see them doing that. Ray's already been out for every single Worlds Collide show. Whenever AAA is doing something big, Ray's there. So I could understand if he's ready to call it a career, that's where they position him next, and his son beats him, and that's it. I feel like that's been kind of Ray's hope ever since Dominic joined the company in 2020. Was he re-signed and said, bring my kid in, and everyone was like, oh god, your kid. Well, now look at us, 5-6 years later, we're like, no, all right, it turns out working with your kid was good for the fundamentals, but now him working with literally everyone else he's been working with has been a huge plus for Dominic. So if this is the way that Rey Mysterio wants to go out, that's the way that I would be totally fine with too.
Yeah, he's found the perfect person to put over on his way out. Like, his son is carrying that legacy and making it his own. So, and I've said it once, I'll say it again. This Intercontinental title run is going to be remembered in the same light as his real father's U.S. title run from 2003. Eddie Guerrero, how people viewed Eddie Guerrero in the company, whether you were a fan or within the company, it all changed in 2003 when WWE made him the inaugural WWE United States champion. That's where the gimmick got fleshed out. You got to see him as a single star that could potentially become a main eventer. He put over new talent like a John Cena at that time with the parking lot brawl. And he just went from a guy that was a tag team specialist with Los Guerreros, a guy we could put in the mid-card title scene, to a guy that they viewed as a main eventer by the end of his US title run, and a few months later he was WWE champion. That's the same trajectory I see for Dom.
Yeah, so we'll see where it goes, but like I said, the match happening in San Diego would make perfect sense to me. They say Ray's cleared. They were saying it on the broadcast the whole time. I'd like to see it, but we'll see where it goes. Lyra Valkyria approaches Bayley backstage, says, hey, you've been weird all day, and I'm confused about last week. What happened? And it turns into another Can I Count on You backstage segment, which is what they had done with Punk and Jay. So I was kind of like, all right, I see there's a second thread here, because this is all playing into War Games, and we'll get into War Games in a second, because we had another tease, and this is I know already, your favorite promo of the night. As they're resetting the show, Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett are cut off by Becky Lynch, and she's back, and she's upset that Seth's injured. She's upset that the Vision have gone crazy. She's upset that she's stuck with a crooked referee trying to keep her down, because this has been part of the story for Maxine Dupree. It's been Jessica Carr has been fast counting her and getting her disqualified, all this stuff. And so she said, Adam Pearce sent me home to cool down. She says, but I'm cool. And then she talks about how New Mexico is known for Breaking Bad, aka a lot of meth, and that breaks Wade Barrett, by the way, which was hilarious because you can hear him.
Someone call for the man. Someone call for the man. Wade lost it.
You heard him he couldn't get to the cough button because she was standing on the announce table. So you hear him break. And then she warns Maxine Dupree that she's not ready for her. She's going to beat her up. And then as Becky finishes up and walks to the back, she's approached, walking by the Kabuki Warriors, who are about to go in for their tag match. And they kind of eye each other down. And all I can say to myself is, War Games.
War Games.
You know what? Again, There's going to be a lot of can I trust you for the next little while. A lot of who can I trust? Let me tell you one very trustworthy person, source, whatever you want to call them. Baby, it's nordvpn.com/Fightful.
There are so many reasons to check out nordvpn.com/Fightful. Let's go through a ton of them. Works on all operating systems and devices, even your router. Protect yourself on public Wi-Fi. Shield your data from snoops and criminals. Add extra layers of digital security to your life with the password manager, the file encryption tool, the Threat Protection Pro. It's the fastest VPN in the world. They've got a global server network, 24/7 tech support. And if you're a wrestling fan, oh man, are you in for it? All of the programs that WWE runs, you can watch with one Netflix account with nordvpn.com/Fightful. You can get pay-per-views at a much more affordable price. This service pays for itself in the money that you are going to save. nordvpn.com/Fightful.
Save a ton of money. Enjoy your internet. nordvpn.com/Fightful. Yeah, it works. It works. And it works for you. And you'll never be asking, can I trust you? Because you can. Talk about Becky Lynch. She's your favorite.
Absolutely tremendous promo from my good friend Rebecca Quinn, aka you better know her as Becky Lynch. Oh man, her ranting. Anytime she goes on a rant, it's phenomenal, and she just hit so many different notes. Like no one is able to just sporadically and chaotically go through different checkpoints the way that Becky Lynch can, where she brings up her hot husband, Seth Rollins, and him being injured, and how the Vision have messed everything up. They betrayed him, and now they are never be the same. She also talks about the crooked referee who's been screwing her over ever since AJ Lee at WrestlePalooza. And then also Maxine Dupree, who's the greatest thing she's ever done in her life, was step in the ring with Becky Lynch. And that's because she's the greatest female wrestler of all time. And it's not just her saying it. SP3 is saying it. Sports Illustrated saying it. Oh man, Becky Lynch, man. Becky Lynch. I don't think we've ever seen someone as good on the mic, another female star as good on the mic than Becky Lynch. There just isn't. Like Toni Storm is the only one that's gotten up to Becky Lynch's level, but I don't think there's anyone better than Becky Lynch. Like I think Becky Lynch and Toni Storm are on the same level. They're both on S tier of female talkers in the wrestling business, but there's no one better than Becky.
It's very strong, and it was a very fun promo. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that they're gonna eventually get to the Maxine match, and I'm glad that it feels like Becky's going to maybe find her way into War Games. Kabuki Warriors, as I mentioned, coming out. They take on and defeat Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, which shouldn't be too surprising if you've been following. Kabuki Warriors want the women's tag titles. Got involved last week, cut a promo this week, pre-tape saying that they're coming after those women's tag titles. So for them to beat Bayley and Lyra, it makes sense. But Asuka spending the first part of the match telling Kairi, keep going, get your ass beat. It's okay. It's good. Very much the point of this whole story so far has been Asuka not only being an egomaniac, but also having a lot of good credence to having built the women's division into the place that it is today. Kairi gets a blind tag in, takes out Bayley. Bayley eventually hits a Bayley to belly. That's a near fall now. That's no longer a finisher for Bayley, which I thought was interesting.
That's been a near fall for her for years now.
But now it's really just a near fall.
No, it's really just a near fall.
Hey guys.
Hey Sean.
Hey Sean.
Hey guys, didn't watch Raw tonight. Down in the dumps. Got a sick cat, unfortunately. Looking rough right now. But
sorry to hear that, buddy.
Sorry.
Listen, I just figured I'd come by and ask you guys what happened on Raw. Okay, did Jey Uso turn heel?
No.
Okay.
They did tease that. Joe didn't let me talk about that segment because he knows I was going to rant about that because they teased it. They honey-dicked us, John.
All right. Did any titles change hands or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Did your top babyface look very stupid in any way, shape, or
Well, depends. Oh no, wait, no, he ended up being a heel at the end. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Was it a new landscape? Was it I heard new landscape?
Bigly huge. Yes, if you ask the guy who said it. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He's lying to you, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Often does.
Mm.
Interesting. Okay.
We didn't get a DQ. We got a double count out.
Oh, double count out finish. We haven't done that in a while.
Yeah,
Wow,
new landscape.
It is WWE Raw 2.0. Let's just splatter some paint all over this bad boy and add some colors. Let's do that.
World.
Guys, thank you all for picking up the slack for me tonight. I greatly appreciated it. I greatly needed it. So thank you guys. I am actually going to go watch Raw now, though.
All right, but before you go, we got a super chat from MJ Johnson saying, Sean, nothing happened at all. Logan's a heel face heel.
I did see that. So spent some time with my wonderful wife tonight. We watched a movie, and then as it ended, I was like, let me see what's happening at the end of Raw. And so I didn't have the context of the opening segment, of which I sought context out for. And I'm just like, well, under what circumstances leading into this evening would Logan Paul ever be trusted? Okay. All right.
New landscape, baby.
New landscape.
Man, catch you guys later.
Thanks, Sean. Take care of yourself.
Thanks, Sean. Take care.
You know what the best part is? I actually thought Sean was coming in to talk about the stomp spot because I know how much he hates the Tree of Woe, where you got to grab both.
Oh man, Kyrie marked Lyra on that Tree of Woe spot. Oh my God, Lyra landed high on the back of her neck. This match was really good. This was my match of the night on the show. This was the best match. I think that Asuka's really found her groove. She's gotten back. She's worked off any ring rust that she had in the summer when she first came back, and she's gotten into great form. I thought she was great at Crown Jewel. I thought she was great in this matchup. I like the whole dynamic with her and Kyrie and the story they're telling with her being the senpai and kind of putting Kyrie through the ringer and making her work more often in the ring. I thought she worked really well with Lyra in this one, and it really feels like, especially from the Bayley and Lyra team, more than anything, some people would say, oh, WWE or Triple H very motivated. No, it's really the performers. It feels like the performers of the women's tag team division are motivated by the fact that their competition now has a women's tag team division. That's what it's felt like the last 2 weeks. They really going out there and putting on their working boots. And I saw it. And once again, I thought Bayley and Lyra had the best match on the night. They had it last week with Charlotte and Alexa, this week with the Kabuki Warriors. Good win for the Kabuki. I love the finish, her catching her on the Asuka lock in midair. Yes. That was a nice finish to put over Asuka as like a beast, because it was a straight, clean finish. And then Charlotte and Alexa come out to start to set up the tag team title match for next week.
And they did announce later on with Byron Saxton that it is happening, so you can look forward to that. I think I think everything you said is absolutely it. They've been on a tear building up a few credible women's tag teams, and I think that Charlotte and Alexa, while doing the jokey joke like we're gonna finish each other's sandwiches stuff is getting a little bit silly, they're still a really good tag team, and it's rehabbed Charlotte to a degree that no one expected. So as a result, you've built credible tag team champions, you've built up credible challengers, and you're getting good matches out of this. So I don't think anybody really loses here, except when you do a stomp where you gotta hold on to the ropes and then it's fine. No, great match. Like you were saying, match of the night, and it was very different in contrast to the World Tag Team title match. AJ Lee defeats the Judgment Day. Sorry if everyone got confused there. That's AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. We've been calling them AJ Lee here for months, so y'all just go along with it. They beat Finn Balor and JD McBighead. A quick open from the Judgment Day. I thought that was great. And then Dominic was told backstage, hey, don't come out here. Don't bother. You didn't want us out there for your victory speech, so we're not going to let you come out for ours. And then Roxanne's like, hey, you're a leader. Don't be a bitch. And Dominic's like, you're right. I won't be a bitch. And he comes out, and even though he was told he shouldn't, he shows up. He gets involved. This whole match was everything that was happening around it, and it wasn't bad, but it was also just like, we can't do what we just did in the women's tag match, so we got to do something completely the opposite, which is, we're going to have this guy come and distract, and then Sheamus is going to come out and he's going to get his pound of flesh, and then we're going to use the shillelagh again, and that's going to be a near fall, but then eventually we're going to get a clean finish because Styles hits the Styles Clash on JD Big Head gets the win. And again, the match was really good, but it was also very shenanigans. So the tag division on Raw doesn't exist. It's this. And this is as good as it's going to get. And that is why the bar is so low that I will accept it as, this was fine for what it was, because it ain't much to begin with.
The World Tag Team title match was used to further set up more dissension within the Judgment Day and possibly an Intercontinental Championship matchup for Sheamus. It had nothing to do with the actual matchup. These four men 2-3 weeks ago put on one of the better WWE TV matches of the year when AJ Lee won the tag team titles from the Judgment Day. I know they can deliver a great match. And after we just got a damn good matchup, near great between the ladies, the match before this, I was like, oh, we got this match next. We're going to have back-to-back really dope matches. And this was good, but it was not even close to their match a couple of weeks ago because it felt overbooked. It felt like they were adding too much when these guys don't need any of that. It's AJ Styles, one of the greatest of all time, Dragon Lee, one of the best high flyers, JD McDonagh, who's probably the most underrated guy in the company, and Finn Balor, who should be a multi-time world champion by now. Like, you don't need any of this stuff. It's fine if you want to set up Sheamus and Dom, which I guess it accomplished that, but just felt like they kind of took away from what could have been a great match.
And you couldn't just do the same tag match that you did when they won the titles. Yeah. That was the other side of it. So you had to include everything else because they booked themselves into this spot. And that's why I was like, the bar is so low that you just have to take that this is the way they're going to book the tag titles that they barely put any work into to begin with. So if they're going to do it to, further a couple of other stories, I guess I'm going to be okay with it. The work in the ring was really good because those four guys, like you said, can really go. So as a result, you're like, yeah, this is a really fun match, but in terms of like a storyline psychology match, it was none of that. Don't expect any of that. It's not happening.
Just cool moves, good wrestlers. Yeah, that's the thing.
Easy as that. It's something you'd find on your local indie, and it'd be like, great. It was fine. Yeah,
it was fine. It was fine. Yeah.
This it's not me, but this is absolutely what I would be saying right now. It was fine.
It was fine.
4.5 stars. Main event: CM Punk and Jey Uso get double counted out with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Mr. Run It Back comes out, gets his entrance ran back, even though he doesn't want to be known for doing that, even though he does it every time he comes out. But meanwhile, the crowd is chanting, "Let's go Uso!" And then my only other comment here, besides the post-match shenanigans, was count out finish. The match, again, serviceable. Four guys just beating each other up. Okay. Post-match, Punk clears the table to put Bronson through it, and he says, "Hey, Jay, go up there and go through the table." And Jay's like, huh? This is when I thought, like, is something going to happen here? Because maybe Jay doesn't want to be little brothered. And then it doesn't matter because Jay just gets speared out of his boots by Braun Breaker on the side. A beat down from the Vision. They do the Punk taking the chair out to clear house again. And then the Vision get chairs too, which I was like, oh, smart. They finally figured it out. You can equalize the chair with the chair under the ring. Let's go. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Logan Paul comes out to even up the odds with his brass knucks. But SP3, I don't know if you know this. If you're a bad guy, you wear black.
Mm-hmm.
He did a whole ass wardrobe change just to tell you he's a bad guy. Logan Paul, dressed in black, knocks out CM Punk with the brass knuckles, hands them over to Paul Heyman because, as Paul said earlier to Jey Uso, you got to check it at the door. You're either with us or against us. Whatever cliche you want to use. The Vision now checks your ID at the door. Was that kind of how he's saying it?
They check it at the door now. It used to be, do you want to be a part of the Vision? No, beat down. You want to be a part of the Vision? No, beat down. Now you don't even get the question. We meet you at the door.
What does that mean? They're checking IDs?
It means you don't even get the question. You don't even get the question. You're like, oh, you don't have your Vision passes? You out of here.
It was fine. I'm just kidding. This was not fine. This wasn't very good.
Oh my God. Can we talk about how sloppy that finish was? how
Sure.
they try to make it feel, oh, it's chaotic. Oh, they're fighting all over the place. No, they were tripping over each other. They were tripling over each other, stumbling over each other because they're trying to make it feel like a chaotic ending, like they're fighting. They want to beat each other up so bad that they don't care about the double count out, but it just felt like a force-fed, telegraphed double count out. God damn. When did WWE come in with the mission to actively hurt their main event scene? Their main event scene has been the most damaged of anything this year to me. Because there's been great main events this year. Don't get me wrong. I just was praising Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes from Crown Jewel. But as far as main events on Raw and SmackDown, god damn, they suck. Oh my God. They actively book the worst finishes. It's DQs. It's vision beatdowns. It's Drew's foot going through an announce table. It's Cody Rhodes, a babyface, using a WWE title belt. Do they know how to book anymore? God damn.
The answer is no.
And then they tease us. They honey dick us on an actual risky move by WWE. Merch draw, top babyface, Jey Uso. Oh, we're going to tease. He's going to turn heel. We do the whole backstage segment with him and Punk, where he's like, Punk, you can trust me. And it's like, oh, wait. He's saying very adamantly he doesn't care about the laws. You can trust me. He's going to turn heel. They do the backstage segment with him and Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman says, oh, my friend Jey Uso, you sound like you have a vision. Oh, we're actually going to pull the trigger? This is interesting. Let's go. We get to the post-match and they give us the most predictable bullshit you could possibly have. Logan Paul, the guy that was the biggest heel, got the most heat at the beginning of the show, who turns babyface because he got pushed. Why do people make such lofty and different decisions on this show over the most minuscule things? Adam Pearce put Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed in a battle royal to determine who would get a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship after Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed attacked Seth Rollins, thus making him sideline. Thus, he had to relinquish the title. He was rewarding the people that did that. He put them in the battle royal. But Braun Breaker is so cocky, he made him say, please. And then Adam Pearce felt so embarrassed and humiliated, he took him out of the battle royal. Not because he beat down the champion and made him sideline, but because he hurt his feelings. That is what we established a couple of weeks ago. And then this minuscule thing here happened. Oh my God. I hate this. I hate this freaking company. Why do they do these things? Why do they do these things?
You know why I love this so much? Because I cover TNA. And I get to do this. I do this on the regular with them and their booking. So for me, this is par for the course. This is chaos agency that I live for, and it's just poor. It's just poor, and it's very fun for me. Who, y'all know how I feel about wrestling. You watch In the Weeds, and if you don't, you should be, because every day, 10 a.m. Eastern, the three of us. So we all make it very well known how we feel. Oh man. Anyway, that was Monday Night Raw. Logan Paul's a bad guy again. Part of me, by the way, thought for a second that they were going to do another Roman Reigns return, which would have been the third same Roman Reigns return. I was this close. When they had the tsunami set up for Jay, I was like, oh my God, and Roman Reigns is going to come back. They didn't do it. I was like, oh, you had the perfect opportunity to just someone doing like the three returns in one box. Like, it's the same thing each time.
Same thing over and over. You know they're gonna do
And
it.
he has a chair again.
That's already the rumor that he's coming back for War Games. So you know they're gonna do it. It's just when they're gonna do it.
It's gonna be Logan Paul loading up the Nux on Jay, and all of a sudden, dun 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 dun.
He's gonna be the one that announces. He's gonna be like,
War Games.
No, he's gonna be like, first he's gonna be like, New York City, War Games. He's not even gonna say
Not
acknowledge
say
me.
acknowledge
He's
me.
gonna say New York City War Games.
You know what? Listen, I'll put it like this. I'd rather that than blood and guts. that I get it. It's a character thing. It's fine. But like, I'll take the overacted War Games against like, no, I don't want to do this. Oh God, that's my one. That's my one for tonight. All right, SP3, let's get out of here. Plug your stuff.
Follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. I will be live tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Me and Jeremy Lambert on In the Weeds. Yes, we will probably be talking about this episode of Monday Night Raw. I'll probably have a new rant prepared. Not prepared. It's never prepared. It just comes off the head. Sorry. But yes, we will be talking about my Los Angeles Lakers and the great, phenomenal work of Luka Doncic. So we'll be talking about some NBA on the show, maybe some TikTok games, and I think that's it. Oh, New Japan. We're going to talk some New Japan Pro Wrestling with Tanahashi's final homecoming. So join us on In the Weeds. I'll also be on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time, Rated Raw review, reviewing Monday Night Raw for a third time. So pray for me.
Duh, you're going to have fun talking about that show for a third time. You know who I am. You know who he is. Folks, coming soon, real soon, sooner than you know, the Fightful Awards. If you want to get a sponsorship, you want to be on board, you want to get value for your money, contact Kate, contact Sean, contact Fightful. The awards have reach, and they absolutely get a lot of people talking. And if you want to sponsor an award, I'm sorry it's so late in the broadcast that I'm telling you about this, but you're going to be reminded of this at every single post show. Go check out the Fightful Awards and email Kate, get her paid, as our pal Jeff Hawkins likes to say on Fridays. Get us paid over on Fightful Overbook. Go subscribe to that channel. Watch us on In the Weeds. And of course, just do everything. FightfulSelect.com and all the other stuff that we do. Thanks again to our sponsors tonight, NordVPN.com/Fightful and my bookie. And once again, you know who he is, you know who I am. Ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, as you leave a thumbs up on the way out, we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.